All right, continuing with our half guard series for MMA. Last week we covered how to control them with your legs, make it harder for them to escape by turning on their side and placing you in guard. Now we're going to focus on actually passing a bit more and using strikes in combination with passing. So there's a variety of ways you can do this, but the general principle is that you want to mix up punching and passing. You don't want to get really stuck on one or the other, because if you get stuck on punching, a lot of times they end up trying to just tie you up, make it hard for you to hit them. And when they're trying to tie you up, sometimes they present opportunities to pass. And when they try and block the pass, a lot of times they present opportunities to hit them. So by working them in combination, you can be much more effective when you're stuck in your opponent's guard. So we're going to be working from here. I got that leg position I showed in the previous video. But in this instance, I'm going to be just focusing on head control instead of getting the underhook as well. So we're in here. Now from here, I'm going to be working on strikes. There's two primary ways I can strike from this position. I can either go for the ribs or the head. There's a lot of ways you can respond to my strikes, but we're going to deal with a pretty basic one for now. So from here, I can be punching the ribs, and a lot of times they'll bring their arm in to block. Then when they're blocking that, it's a good time to punch the head. Now if they use their shield to block, go on up. This is a good time to start working the pass, because he's blocking my punches fairly well. He might, if I continue to try and pass, he might end up tying up my arm or something like that, and then making it more difficult for me. So I'd rather go to the pass at this point. So I'm punching here and he's doing a good shield to block me. I'm going to turn my hips a little bit and then put my hand on the inside of his knee. Push his knee forward off of my knee and then bring my knee over top. Now at this point in time, a lot of times they'll end up pushing on your knee. When this happens, it's a really good time to punch again. He has to deal with his defense, so he's not blocking his face anymore. So it's a good time to punch again. Now there's two things that can happen. One, he might push my knee all the way through, and then we're back to half guard, and I can continue to work my strategy from there. Or two, I'm doing this, and he blocks, block again. And as I'm punching, I push the knee down. I get to here. Now from here, he goes to push, but instead I start punching him, and he forgets to go back to half guard, and he continues to block again. Now here's a good opportunity to pass the guard. My knee's out, he only has my ankle, so this is great. I'm going to take the arm that was punching, and I'm going to switch to an underhook. I'm going to put my head to the other side of his head, and now I'm going to lift my hips up really high in the air. He's holding onto my ankle, and then I bring my knee to the other side, put my hip on the ground. From here I can use my left leg to kick to remove his hook and continue into my side control. So let's turn, so you can see the leg movement from the other side. So we're here. I'm working the punches to the head and he blocks. I'm working the ribs to the head. He blocks. I turn my hips and I push that knee forward so I can bring my knee forward. He blocks. I'm going to punch to the head again. I take my underhook, my right arm underhooks. Then from here I can put my head to the other side of his head, keeping my underhook up high in the air so it's hard for him to use his left arm. Then I'm going to plant both toes on the ground and lift my hips up really high. He's holding on with his knees, pinching. Now there's a couple ways I can finish from here. The one that I like is to get your knee to the side and then to put your hip to the side. I want to put my hip all the way on the ground. If he's still fighting to push to shrimp with this arm, I'll pull it up. And while he's squeezing my ankle with his knees, I'll take this foot and pump on the inside of that knee so that I can kick through into modified scarf hold. And then from here I can continue to attack and I don't have to worry about his leg and hip motion. So keep in mind, you're always wanting to work in combination between punching and passing. You don't usually want to do just one or the other. When you switch between the two, you usually create different openings and opportunities. Make sure you're working on both aspects of that of the top game in that way.